I am your personal guide on the journey of growth. How are you all doing? How is it with you where you are? Good afternoon. If you are in Nigeria and that area of the world, good morning. If you're in the northern hemisphere where it's still morning, good evening. If you're in the part of the world where it is evening, it's always a pleasure to be with you here on Growth Habits with Ngozi. As I always say, I am your personal guide on this journey of growth, and I am your personal guide not for any other reason except that I go on the journey with you. I don't just tell you, oh, this is how it's done, this is what you should do. I actually walk the walk with you. That's why I don't call myself a coach. That is the main reason why I don't call myself a coach. Because coaches, they train you. If you watch any sporting event, they show you what to do. Everything they give you their 100%, but the coach doesn't play. When it's time, the coach does not play. He's on the sideline watching you, directing you, still showing you what you should do, but the coach does not actually play. But I am your mentor. I am your guide on the journey of growth because I don't just tell you what you should do. I don't just show you how it should be done. I actually go on the journey with you. I embark on the journey. The things that I speak to you about, I speak to myself. The lessons that I expect you to take away, I take away some myself. So there is no session that we do that I don't get something myself from. I must. First of all, by the time I am researching it, first, by the time I'm looking at what should I talk about, what are the areas I'm already learning, and then, okay, I'm not seeing. By the time I'm also talking, because this has happened several times, as I'm talking, and I'll find that, oh, something strikes me at that point, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize this before. So, yes, I am learning right alongside you. I do not just send you messages. I don't just tell you this is what should be done. I'm actually learning along with you. I'm applying the lessons alongside you. All right, so I can see that we're live everywhere except on LinkedIn. I don't know whether I can't see it. Okay, let me check from my phone. I can't see the live on LinkedIn, so I want to believe that we're live because I can see it everywhere else except on LinkedIn. Okay, well, there's not too much I can do about that right now. Yeah, it's supposed to be live on LinkedIn. All right, so yes, today with this month we've been talking about seasons of life. That's what we've been talking about for the month of July, seasons of life. And we know that life comes in various seasons. It's not one season. And the thing is that we have to learn how to understand what season we're in and then how to respond to that season so that we are not, yes, we'll be taken by surprise because some seasons we don't plan, just like we talked about last week. Some seasons you don't plan, but they happen. So you learn how to understand what season you're in and then how do you respond to those seasons. We started off this session, that is this whole series, by looking at discerning the season. That was our first session that we looked at discerning this season, recognizing where you are. What worked yesterday might not be working today. You need to figure out why. That was what we talked about in our first session. You need to understand why is it that it's no longer working. Because, we have been saying it, life works in seasons, but you need to be able to recognize it. So the key lesson of that first session was to discern what season you're in. Recognize where you are now and what you need to do basically in that new season. Then in week 2, we talked about unexpected changes because Changes don't always announce themselves. They just come. Seasons don't always announce themselves. They just show up sometimes. Yes, sometimes you have prior notice. Let me say that sometimes you do know that this season, because okay, you apply for a new job, you got the job, so you know you are planning for it. But sometimes you lose your job without any prior notice. So yeah, some changes come unexpectedly. Life doesn't always ask for our permission. It doesn't always ask for our permission before it changes, and we need to be able to accept the reality that things have changed, adapt to that reality, remain resilient in the midst of it, and trust God, even when we don't understand everything, because ultimately He is always there. Yeah, we can't always choose. I'm really still struggling to see why the LinkedIn is not showing. So we cannot always choose what happens to us. We really can't, but we can choose how we respond to it, which is very, very key, which is very important. We, that we be able to choose how we respond to what's happening to us. So today, what we are going to look at, yes, we've accepted that life has changed. We've accepted it. We're in a new season of life. We agree. We've even tried to adapt, try to remain resilient in the midst of it. But what next? What do we do next? How do we start again? Because that is actually what the season is calling for. It's new. Things have changed. So how do we really start again? How do we what do we how do we even get our mind, let me even say that, in a place where we can start again, start that new business, start, maybe you just, okay, even getting married, yeah, it's a change, or divorce, or you had a baby. How do you really start again? So most times starting new is like, it's daunting. It's daunting. It's not easy for anyone. And it means that, let me say this, when I'm talking about starting again, I'm not talking about, you're erasing everything. Because sometimes, we tend to think that starting again means that everything that came before now has to be thrown away, has to be erased. No, starting again is not erasing everything that came before. It's not that. Starting again is not pretending either that the past did not happen. It is not. It's not pretending that the past did not happen. It's not forgetting the pains that came with that past season, but it does mean picking up from where you were or where you are, and then taking the lessons into the new season, because there must be lessons from the previous season. There must be lessons. There has to be. And I always emphasize this, that we look out for the lessons. I remember some years ago, there was this teaching that was quite prevalent then about being in the valley. And that teaching always rubbed me the wrong way somehow, because it kind of emphasized our being in the valley and walking through that valley and all that. But I read something one day, and it talked about not concentrating so much on being in the valley that you miss the flowers that are also in the valley. Because I think that sometimes we think that there are no flowers in the valley. We think that because it is a valley means it's a dry, arid place. But there are flowers growing in that valley. And most times we don't pick them up. We don't even see them. We are so consumed with the process of what we are going through, we miss the flowers that are there. So that is what is the key to beginning again for me is being able to discover the flowers that are growing in the valley where you are, because things have changed and probably they did not change for the better. So you need to discover the valley, the flowers that are growing in the valley. Simply put, beginning again for me is choosing to move forward instead of remaining stuck where you are. Simply put, for me, that is the simple way to look at beginning again. You choose, you're moving forward. I'm not going to be stuck right here anymore. I'm not going to be stuck where I have been. I am going to move forward. And to be courageous, because we are talking about the courage that is required to begin again, is not courage is not even being fearless the way we look at it most times. It involves fearlessness, yes, but is that willingness that you have to take action, meaningful action, in spite of the fear. There is fear, but you take meaningful action. There is uncertainty for sure, but in spite of all that, there is a risk, yet you go ahead and take meaningful action because you know that what lies ahead is more important than remaining where you are. That is courage for me. That is doing what needs to be done, even when you're afraid, especially when you're afraid. Doing what needs to be done. You know this needs to be done. You know it. So it's not a matter of, I don't know. You know it needs to be done because things have changed. You have to move. You can't remain where you are. This has happened to me several times in life. I've had life changes that were like, okay, what do I do? And I knew I had to just move on. I couldn't just sit in my or wallow in my pain. There was pain involved, of course. There is always pain involved, especially when the change is not a good one. There is always pain involved, but you can't sit and wallow in the pain. There must be a decision to move forward. There must be a decision to say, all right, yes, I am afraid. Yes, I'm uncertain. Yes, there is a risk involved in this, but I choose to move on. I choose to move on. So remember that today we're talking about the courage that is required to move ahead, to begin again, to start over. And remember, because I think this is very important, you're not starting over from scratch. Because at times that's another thing that kind of hinders us. We think we are starting from scratch. You're not starting over from scratch. You're starting from somewhere. You've had experience. You've had life experiences. You have, you now have a whole bunch of experience. You understand? So you're not starting from zero. You're starting from somewhere. So why do people struggle with beginning again? Why do we usually struggle with, even though we know that this is actually for our good, this is to lead us to grow? Why do we struggle with it? One is fear of failing again. Because you feel that the change that happens because you feel that something. So what is the how do I now not fail again? And that fear keeps you rooted to the spot, keeps you right where you don't need to be actually. So it's natural. It's natural. It's expected actually that you will have that initial fear. We all have it. If you don't even have that initial fear, I will be worried. That initial fear of failing again, if it's not present, I would be worried. So that initial fear is needed, is essential, is important. It's important that you do have that fear because it should be what propels you. That fear should propel you to do what is needful. So, yes, there is a possibility that you would fail again. It exists. But that possibility is not the only possibility. There's something I forgot even to send it to the person. I saw it on someone's status yesterday. It says, while you're overthinking, don't forget to overthink the possibility of everything going well. Because when you overthink, you're thinking of all the possible outcomes that are negative. Don't forget to also overthink the possible positive outcomes. So yes, the fear of failing is there, but what if you don't? It's 50-50. Just like there's a possibility that you will fail, there's also the same possibility you will not. So why are you focusing on the part that you will fail? So yeah, that is one thing that makes us struggle with beginning again, the fear of failing. And of course, when we are bound by that, we miss a lot of opportunities because we won't even see them. Our eyes are blocked. Our vision is closed out to seeing opportunities at that time. Another thing that keeps us not wanting to move, to begin again, is fear of being judged. And this one, this one hits home because this one was one of the things that almost stopped me from starting this growth habits. The fear of being judged. What will people say? Um, but they will always say, whether you're doing or you're not doing, they will say. So we need to. It's not. It's a valid fear. I'm not saying it is a very valid fear because people can be mean. People can be mean. People can say things, but also, even if you don't do anything, they will still say. So choose. Once again, the choice is ours. They will criticize always. But also, the thing that I know can help one stick it out when people criticize is understanding why you're doing what you're doing. When you have that understanding, let them talk. Let them talk. Let it bounce off of you like water off the back of a duck. Let them talk because they will talk. Even if you don't do anything, they will still say. They will still say. So people will always criticize your beginnings. Um, and it's usually because they don't understand your purpose, they don't understand your calling, they don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. So let that be the encouragement for you to ignore what they're going to say. The next thing is an attachment to the past. Many times we don't want to start again, we don't want to begin again because we're still attached to the past. We don't really want a new beginning. We want our old life back. Even if that old life was full of struggles, even if that old life was not the best, we're comfortable in it and we want it back. But you see, most healing of our hearts, of our minds, of our emotions, it doesn't start if we keep living in yesterday, if we keep trying to recreate yesterday. Healing most times cannot start in that situation. Healing starts when we begin to embrace today. You're not throwing away, once again, you're not throwing away the experiences of the past. You're not throwing them away. They taught you something. Take what they taught you and move forward. Take what they taught you and move forward. Don't be attached to the past. Another thing that prevents us from moving ahead is perfectionism. We feel that the conditions are not yet perfect. They don't need to be. They don't need to be. If you observe the weather, you will not plant. You will not plant. There is nothing like a perfect condition. Conditions will never be perfect. So just go ahead and start. Just go ahead and start. If you observe the wind, you will not plant. So plant anyway. Just go ahead. Do the needful. Move ahead. So there are also some things that can make it easier for us to begin again. There are some things that we can do that will make it easier for us. Number one is to accept that every ending is not a failure. Every ending is not a failure. That is so important. So important. Because when you see that every ending is not a failure, it's easier to stand up and move. But when you observe and you attribute failure to every ending, you wouldn't even want to start again. You wouldn't even want to move. So, one thing that can help you, that can make this starting again, this beginning again possible, that can make it easier, is to accept that every ending is not a failure. It's not. It's not. Because okay, when you graduated from secondary school, for example, for those of us in Nigeria, high school for those of us outside, when you graduated and you now had to move to the university, to college, was that a failure, or was that not an ending? So every ending is not a failure. Simply, seasons simply changed. Seasons simply changed. So every ending is not a failure. Have that at the back of your mind. Let that guide you in whatever situation you find yourself, in whatever circumstance you find yourself. Also know that, okay, yes, okay, Charity, I see you on Facebook. Don't just overthink the negative, yes. Also overthink the positive. You will see that you will rest a little from too much thinking. Don't just overthink the negative, because that's what we do. Overthink the positive too. All right. So I was saying that another thing that can help you is to focus on what you still have. Yes, the season has changed. Yes, something has ended. But there are things, you've lost some things, yes, but there are some things you still have. What remains with you? What is left in your hand? What wisdom is left? What character is left? What remains? Because no matter what it is, something is left. What experience is left with you? What is it? Focus on what you still have, not on what you have lost. Because yes, you have lost something, that is for sure. Nobody can tell you didn't lose anything. You lost something in this change of season. Something is gone. But focus on what is left, because something is left. Something is left. Find it and focus on it. The next thing that can help you is stop comparing chapters. Stop comparing how it will. Don't bother. Don't bother. Nothing good comes from those comparisons. Stop comparing even your own chapter 1 with your now chapter 3. The worst one is comparing your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 100 or something. Stop comparing chapters. Nothing good comes out of it. Once you begin to do that, you will begin to lose courage. True. It's the truth. You begin to lose courage. You begin to lose the impetus to move. Because in that comparison, you'll always find, because the aim of the comparison is not even to help you. It always makes you feel like you're not enough. See this comparison thing. I have hardly seen where you do the comparison, you come out on top. Think about that. So stop comparing. Don't just bother. Don't just bother. Something else that will help is to take one small step. Don't think 10 steps ahead. Just think one step ahead. Take just one. It doesn't have to be a giant leap into the new beginning, into the new season. Take one step. Have one conversation that will help you. Say one prayer. Take one decision. Don't think 5 steps ahead. Just one. To take small steps. I find that, yeah, we like to multitask. Just take one step, please. Take just one first. Start with one step, and you will see. You will see the difference. Because the thing with taking one step is that when you take that one step, and you see that you succeed in it, it boosts your confidence to take the next. But when you're taking two, three steps at a time, one might not work, one might work, and you begin to have this. So just start with one step. Start small. You don't have to take a leap into the new season. Just take one step at a time. So let me give us a mnemonic to help us whenever you need to begin again. And that mnemonic will be start. 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 S is surrender the past, let it go. Let it go. Release, especially that part, the parts, especially the parts of the past that you cannot change. Let it go. Let it go. Surrender it. Let it go. Can't help you. And you can't change it. So why are you holding on to it? Let it go. T is to trust God's timing. Now, I know some people will be like, oh, she has come with her God thing, but my apologies. This is me. Trust God's timing. Trust it. Your story is not over yet. There are still many chapters to be written. Changes are yet coming. Seasons are yet coming. But trust in His timing. He knows the best time for each season. He knows the best time. Don't second guess Him. Trust God's timing. A, act with courage. Act with courage. Take the next step. Make it small, like I said earlier. Make the step small just to help you, but take it. Don't postpone it. Don't overthink it. Don't just take the next step. Act with courage. Take that step in faith, knowing that what is ahead is much better than where you are right now. So take that next step. Act with courage. The R is renew your mind. This is a journey in the mind first. It starts in the mind. This change, this new season, this being able to start again has to start up here. Has to start up here. Replace every limiting belief with truth. Find the truth. Then we use it to replace the limiting beliefs because there are many. They will bombard your brain, they will bombard your mind. The limiting beliefs, they will. I tell you of the truth, they will just be coming. You can't do this. You're not capable. You're not up to. You can't meet up. This is not you. Don't have the capabilities. They will bombard your mind. But for each one, find the truth that counters it and then hold on to that truth. That is why I encourage people to do declarations, not because of any magic per se, but declarations are you finding that truth and then speaking that truth. That's why I encourage us, the ones that I do put up at the end of the sessions, I always encourage you to say them aloud. There's this connection between what we hear and what we believe. So say them aloud to yourself. Write out the declaration. Speak them to yourself more than once. It doesn't happen once. Not once you say it once, you say, okay, one and done. No. Keep saying it. Even if what you're saying is not yet aligning, keyword yet, not yet aligning to that declaration, keep saying it. Remember, we talked about the brain and how it functions. As it keeps hearing that declaration you're making, it begins to rewire itself to bring that truth to pass. That is how our brain works. So keep saying it. Renew your mind. Then the T in start is thank God for new mercies. Thank Him. Every day is another opportunity to begin. Every single morning is a new opportunity to start afresh. You may have messed up yesterday. It's okay. It's all right. It's done. Can you change it? You really can't. It has happened. It's now in the past. But you can choose to begin again. You can choose to start fresh today. So take advantage of the new day. Each morning you wake up, a brand new opportunity to start again, to do things different, to do things better. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. So as you go into this new week, just take out time. I would even encourage you, take a piece of paper and write down these three things I'm going to mention. One, what are the things I need to leave behind? This is another thing that I never thought, honestly, for years I don't write. Because I don't see it and I'm like, oh, why? But I've come to see that when you write things like this down, it does something to your brain also. So write down in the first list what I need to leave behind. What are those things I need to leave behind? Is it regret? Is it fear? Is it limiting beliefs? Whatever it may be, write it down. Is there an unhealthy relationship? Write down what you need to leave behind. In the second list, write down what am I taking with me? Is it life experiences that I've gained by this season that I've gone through? Is it some, improvement in my character? Are there some skills that I'm taking with me? Write it down. And then the third thing you're going to write down is your first step. What is the first step you're going to take? Just looking at what you need to leave behind, looking at what you're taking with you from all that you have experienced. What is your first step? Just one step. You don't have to write 1,000 things. So what is one practical action that you can take this week towards that new beginning? And like I said, I never used to be an advocate of writing things that have to tell us, but I have seen that it works. I remember that I did one exercise one time where I wrote down something someone did to me on a piece of paper and I burnt it. And it helped me get over that. I can't tell you how freeing it was to write down. I wrote down my heart, all that I felt about that situation. I put it on a piece of paper. That's all the bad feelings. And I set it ablaze and I watched it burn. And that was how the whole vexation of spirit went. So there's something to. In fact, by the time I wrote it all down, I was good, really. I felt much better. But the burning it, oh, that was the final seal. So write down these things. Just try. Do it. Write down those three things. As we conclude today's session, one of the I think one of the greatest lies we tell ourselves is that it's too late. I think it's one of the greatest lies we tell ourselves. Oh, it's too late for me to change. Oh, it's too late for me to start again. Oh, it's too late for me to heal from the hurts of the past. Oh, it's too late for me to love again. Oh, it's too late for me to try again. No, it's not. No, it's not. Especially if you're a child of God. God specializes in new beginnings. But even if you don't know God, it's not too late. You can start again. Just look at it. Every night, darkness overtakes everywhere. But in the morning, the sun rises. Fresh beginning, new opportunity. So you can begin again. It's never too late. Until we're in the ground, dead. It's not too late. You can start again. A friend asked me some time back that how do I transition to new seasons? That she thinks I just transition to the next season. It's not quite like that. It's not quite like that. It's that I actually know that one, it's not too late for me to start something new. It's never too late. I believe that completely. I can always start a new thing. I can always. So start again. Every ending is not failure. It's not. Understand this, believe this. Charity, leave me, says mnemonic Lord. Yeah, I'll beg. So try again tomorrow. Really, try again tomorrow. It's not too late. It can't be too late. It can't be over until we are done. It's not allowed. It's not allowed for it to be over until I've won. How dare it be over? How dare it be over when I'm not done? So our declaration for this week, I'm going to post it for us. Let me post it on Facebook first. Okay, it's there on Facebook. Um, Let me post it. Okay, I just realized that I didn't check if I had any messages. uh, on LinkedIn or YouTube. Okay, so let's declare together. I refuse to let fear, failure, or yesterday define my tomorrow. They don't even have the power. I take away that power from them, first of all. I embrace God's new beginnings with faith and courage. I am not starting from scratch. I am starting with wisdom, experience, and God's grace. I will take my next step with confidence, trusting that the God who brought me this far will lead me into all He has prepared for me. This is my season to begin again. So say to yourself, write it down, write it out somewhere, copy it out, speak it. Speak it over yourself every time. Let me post on Instagram for those that are on Instagram. I have to always cut it in two for Instagram because it doesn't really. It's even this one is even eh, it's doing three times. Okay, there is no problem. We'll do it. We cut it into three and post it there. All right. So with that, yes, we have come to the end of today's session. And I want to believe that we have learned something. We can always start again. We can always begin again. The fact that the sun rises every morning should give us courage to know that we can start again. We can begin again. Okay, for some reason, it looks like we didn't go live on LinkedIn today. I can't see any sign of it there. But I don't know what happened. But we were live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Okay, so thank you once again for joining me. Remember to make today and every day count, to be valuable, and ensure that you are growing. And we will see you next week, Tuesday, right here on Growth Habits with Ngozi. Remember that the time is 12 noon Nigerian time. That is the time for our sessions, 12 noon Nigerian time. You can now change it to your own time because depending on where you are. Our last session for this July will be, the topic is thriving in a season you didn't choose. Thriving in a season you didn't choose. You know, that's hard. Because most times when we don't choose the season, we want to run away from it, but you can thrive in that season that you didn't choose. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for those that watch the replay. Remember to follow us on all our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. Growth Habits with Ngozi. Excuse me, Growth Habits with Ngozi. We are everywhere. You can subscribe to our channel, remember, on Facebook. And please go on Seller, go on Amazon, type in my name, you'll see all my books. Buy one, buy two, buy for your friend, buy for your colleague. The books are very, very good and very, very helpful. Thank you all for joining me today, and do have a lovely, lovely day. See you right here next week, same time, same channel, as they say. All right. Have an awesome day. Bye.